The Taurus GX4, let's check it out. Taurus has just introduced their GX4, and this is one of the micro compact 9mm that's double stack magazine. This one actually holds 11+1. It's about the same size as the SIG P365, and yet a very budget friendly price. We're going to take a look at the GX4 and a lot of its features. And one of the things about Taurus is over the years, they have had some quality control issues starting out in Brazil, but these are made in Bainbridge, Georgia. And since that time, we've really seen an increase in the quality of the Taurus firearms. I have honestly been impressed. Not always been a big fan of Taurus, but I am now. I think that Taurus is putting out some really quality guns. And for all those new Micro 9s that have hit the market, this is going to give them a run for their money. And we really appreciate Taurus for sending the GX4 for this review. The Taurus GX4, this is adding to the Micro 9s that are double stacked, just a bigger concealed carry market, and I loved seeing companies come out with these kind of designs. I mean, this is very innovative, making a very small firearm and yet have more standard capacity instead of the single stack, which they've been extremely popular. Let's go ahead and make sure the gun is unloaded. We have 11 rounds in the magazine, and it does come with 2 magazines, and you have the yellow followers. These are Metgar magazines. I think they're on the front here, which is very reliable. In fact, they make most of the magazines for many of the gun companies. On the magazine base pad, there is a small step, and you do have a cut in the frame. And that way, if you have any kind of malfunctions with your magazine, you can just rip these out. If it gets stuck, you can pull it out. Check to make sure the chamber is empty, and it is. So we have a very small package, and of course, the SIG P365 started this whole thing, and we would be remiss not to bring that out. And it really remains one of the smallest of the Micro 9s. But one of the things about the GX4 is that it is almost the exact same size. With even the flush fit magazine, it does come down in the front, but it is extended with the GX4 just a little bit. Otherwise, I mean, these two pistols are almost identical. And so that makes it really compact, really small. Weight on the GX4, 1 pound, 2.6 ounces. Weight on the P365, 1 pound, 2.6 ounces. We'll talk a little bit more about the SIG coming up, but we have a 3-inch barrel. It is DLC coated, which means diamond-like coating. It's going to give it really smooth function. The slide itself is kind of a matte finish, and they call it the gas nitride slide treatment. So it gives it kind of that matte anodized finish, and yet it should hold up very well. And of course, time will tell. But one of the big things about this firearm, obviously it has a lot of the basic features, and we are going to look at that. But one thing I want to mention is that inside the frame, the polymer frame, there is a stainless steel insert. And so that's going to give you a lot of strength. It's going to give you less flex. It's going to be more rigid. Also, we have steel sights. The rear is a blacked out serrated sight with a dot at the front. I would probably guess that these are Glock compatible. Not positive yet. I'll have to check it out. But we'll see, because again, this is a brand new firearm from Taurus. It has the front and rear cocking serrations. Very easy to grab. Nice and aggressive. There is no accessory rail, but I'm sure that they will have, different companies that make the ones that fit to the trigger guard. Also, very nice texturing on the grip. And it does come with an extra back strap, but this has the Laser X texturing, which makes it aggressive to grab, but it's not uncomfortable when you're wearing it concealed. and it has a fairly small grip, which that is the hardest part to conceal. Now at this point right now, they only are offering the 11 round magazines. I'm sure there will be extensions coming up. Also, the controls are very narrow, minimal, all the way down the slide, your slide release. Takedown lever is a little different. We'll take a look at that. It does have these memory pads on either side, which are great to keep that finger out of the trigger. But then on the other side, when you're firing, it makes it a great point in what they call the recoil management pad. And so this allows you to grab hold here and have a little more grip on the front of the pistol to help mitigate recoil. Especially with these small little 9mm, sometimes they can be a little snappy. The grip has a hump here, and then it comes in pretty deep to give you a really high carry. It's one of the things about a firearm to me is I like that low bore axis. This is not extremely low, but it's not bad, and you can just press down, and you want to get that hand up on the grip as far as you can. And so I think this allows you to do that. Has a squared off trigger guard, and again, that texturing is really nice. There's also a steel guide rod, which we'll check out as well. So there's a lot of premium features already on this firearm. And, you know, one thing a lot of people will say is that Taurus is coming late into the game. SIG's been out for a while, and now we have a number of others that are coming. But there are some upgrades to this pistol that I'm not seeing over some of the others. It has a loaded chamber indicator, and you can just see the brass right through the top. Teflon coated magazine release that is reversible. Now they have upgraded the trigger, and this is a flat face trigger. It has your blade right here, and so when you pull back, it's more of a natural pull. And of course the gun is unloaded, we just checked it. But here, I mean, it's got a nice break. Now it's not a very crisp break. We'll go ahead and check reset. Right there. Yeah, the break is a little bit just normal for your striker fire pistols. So we got some take up, not much take up. Hits a wall, and then you have that nice little break. Again, not super crisp, but definitely tactile and audible. Okay, we'll check our trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. 5 pounds, 15 ounces. 5 pounds, 3.3 ounces. About the 5.5 pound mark. I've tested it a number of times. It's about where you're getting with the Glock. Now with Taurus bringing out the GX4, I wanted to really compare it to the G3C. This is a new firearm from Taurus. It replaced the G2C, and guys, there was a lot of cool upgrades. We did a video, I'll have it annotated. But one of the things about these two pistols is that the GX4 has 11+1, while the G3C has 12+1, and yet it's a much bigger firearm. The slide's thicker, the barrel's longer, it has a longer grip, and for one extra round, it's going to be kind of hard to justify as far as having a small concealed carry pistol. But one of the big points is that with the G3C, you do have more of a full-size firearm. And so if you want something that, you know, you can have for home defense, and you can have a little bit more of a full-size firearm when you take it to the range, and just more enjoyable shooting, I see the G3C still having a really strong place in that. And plus, with the new Taro models, you have your plate here to be able to put on some kind of micro red dot or some kind of RMR. And so that gives it some pluses. Also, you can use the standard G3 mags, which are 15+1, or their 17+1 magazine. So these fit in the G3C, and it comes with 3 magazines, whereas the GX4 comes with 2. So I just wanted to give the G3C a little credibility because it does have some, you know, different purposes. Now, for a micro concealed carry, the G4C has it beat completely. It's a smaller pistol. It only has 1 less round. And so, you know, you've just got some different things to think about. It's according to what you're looking for. Now, the GX4 is an addition to a lot of the micro concealed carry options, double stack 9mm. And of course, the SIG P365 was the first, 10+1. And then the Hellcat came out, 11+1. Then we had the Glock G43X, which is 10+1, but the grip is pretty much extended. And then we came out with the Shield Plus. Now this is the Performance Center Shield with a little bit longer slide, but it does come with the standard slide, 10+1. And then Ruger came out with the Max 9, which is 10+1. Now, all these have extended magazines. In fact, for the G43X, you can get one of the Shield Arms S15 magazines. So you can really up that. But Springfield Armory has just introduced their 15-round magazine for the Hellcat. So that really brings it up as well. And so there's a number of different options, guys, and you just need to take them and check them out. Of course, we have reviews on all these. I really want to check out the standard Shield Plus to replace my wife's M&P Shield. And I think with the extra capacity over 7 rounds to 10, and of course, again, it does have extended magazines. But the one thing about the Taurus is at this point right now, there are no extended magazines. It's pretty much 10 rounds, but I'm sure that they're coming. Guys, it just gives us a lot of options. We really appreciate Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, all made in the USA. It's good shooting stuff. Also, we appreciate Lula Loaders for saving our thumbs. It's nice to get that 11th round in there. Took the GX4 down to the range. Thankfully for Fiocchi, we had about 500 rounds. And we shot quite a bit. I shot slow, just trying to get on point, checking out the warm spots, seeing how it functioned, which we found that it really mitigates the recoil. And when I consciously put my finger on that pad, it definitely makes a difference. It took me a little bit just to get used to it. I'm just so used to throwing my thumbs forward, not necessarily resting it right there, but that definitely helps. And so that alone was a great tip for me. Then we shot it rapid quite a bit. And it just held on track. It just shoots very well. And when it came to the recoil, it wasn't that snappy. In fact, for these small little pistols, especially 3-inch barrels, they start to get somewhat little popping up. But I think that really the stainless steel chassis in here gives the frame a lot of rigidity, and it just seems to hold very well. The white dot at the front, sometimes, especially when I'd shot a target, a steel target, and there was a lot of lead on the target, I couldn't quite pick up the white as much. But it does contrast with this back rear sight. But really the grip, it felt great. It just seemed to rest in my hand in the right way. This beaver tail area back here, just really enjoyed shooting this. And we didn't have any malfunctions, which I didn't know. I just throw it up there and do what I do, taking it straight out of the box. It shot every bit of the ammo with no malfunctions. Now, one of the things that I did have a con about was the accuracy. And not that they weren't grouping well, it was just shooting about 2 to 3 inches low. In fact, when I got that 5-shot group that I'm going to show you, I was actually aiming at the top of the circle because I had shot quite a bit to kind of find out where it was hitting. And I wanted to see if it would group really well, and that just seemed to be the best way to do it. But it's shooting a couple of inches low, and that was at about 7 yards, which is definitely acceptable distance. But really, I like to be on point of aim, but 2 or 3 inches low is not the end of the world. But that may be something that Taurus might want to address. Using the slide stop as a slide release was easy, even though it's minimal. I mean, I was able to get that slide stop and just hit it. I did rack the slide a few times, but I ended up just hitting that slide release or slide stop, and it just kept going right into battery. A lot of you guys are going to want the pinky extension, with the extra rounds, especially if you have big hands. But I found that I get part of my pinky over that grip, and I feel like I've really got a good grip on it. Again, sometimes these small little micro 9s, you feel like they're going to come out of your hand, and I didn't find that with the GX4. Now, disassembly is a little bit different on the GX4. Make sure the gun is unloaded. The takedown is right here. You're going to need a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. And what you want to do is to just take this and turn it counterclockwise, pulling the trigger, and then it just comes right off. And that's just the way it is. But one thing about this is it retains inside the frame, which I like. And you'll notice that when you turn the little lever, it just releases the barrel. We have our recoil spring and guide rod. It is a double captive guide rod, and it is stainless. And then we have our barrel. Man, that's a tiny barrel. But it works. And I'll tell you guys, very simple. A lot like most of our Striker Fire pistols, except for this stainless steel frame. Now, look at this little insert. I mean, the rails are all the way down either side. And that's a lot different than most of your Striker Fire pistols, which have a little small rail at the front and at the back. and then this area right here is stainless. And so you're going to get a little more rigidity, you're going to get less flex, and it's just going to hold up a little bit better. I don't know that this is removable, there's nothing about it, but I'm sure that's what they were probably going for, because the serial number is right here on the back of the frame, and it is in stainless. So that's all you do to fill the strip, to return your barrel, and then we're going to return our recoil spring and guide rod, and then back over the frame. Now you'll notice that the little takedown tab turns around to the right position. So once you put the slide back on, you're good to go. Test for function. All right, to wrap things up, some pros and cons of the GX4. Very compact, very small, and yet 11+1. And as we've seen with the G3C, 12+1. And this is a much smaller, more concealable firearm. So that's a big plus. Grips, excellent texturing, which, obviously we're seeing a lot of that. The trigger is much improved over the G3C. In fact, I didn't really show it, but it's got a much shorter take up, and the break is really nice. It definitely is not really crisp, but not too bad. So I think the trigger is an improvement. But now the stainless steel chassis, that is one of the big pluses for this firearm. And with those rails that go all along the sides, you're going to have more contact with the slide. It's just going to give it a little smoother recoil pulse. So I like that. And possibly, you can remove the chassis. I don't know if that's possible yet. We'll find out. The one thing, the takedown lever is a little different. Having to have a tool, I'm not really a big fan of that, but it's just a flathead screwdriver. And so that's not really a big deal. I like that it stays retained. I like this little pad, which a lot of firearms have, but I like how they're using this as recoil management, and it does work. Slide release and slide stop, it works for both. And just a very nice little small compact pistol. Now the accuracy was definitely a con. 2 to 3 inches low at 7 yards. I would really like to see more point of aim, but overall it's very acceptable, and the group was really nice. I mean, it wasn't a one-shot group, but it definitely is acceptable for combat accuracy. These are made in the USA. They do have a lifetime warranty, which is going to be a big plus. And the price is really one of the biggest pluses for the GX4. When it comes to price, the MSRP is $392. Market price will be considerably less. And then also you have your lifetime warranty on it, which Taurus stands behind, because I have sent a couple of Tauruses back over the years. But one of the big things about this firearm is it's full featured. I mean, it has a lot of things going for it. And really with that stainless steel chassis, I love it. While you're paying a lesser price, I think you're going to really get a top quality firearm. So check out the Taurus GX4. I think this is going to be an excellent concealed carry option, and it's really great to see a lot of these micro 9s in the double stack category. Gives us a lot of options. This just makes it great for price. And again, we appreciate Taurus for sending the GX4 for this test and evaluation and being able to get this out to you guys right away. I mean, there's a lot of gun choices out there, and I think the Taurus GX4 is a great addition. Guys, if you depend on a firearm for self-defense, it's really important that you don't go it alone. I've been a member of the USCCA, or the United States Concealed Carry Association, for over 4 years, and it really gives you peace of mind. The USCCA was founded to help you understand laws and self-defense education. They offer industry-leading training, and to me, one of the most important features is they offer self-defense liability insurance. They have 100% risk-free, money-back, bulletproof guarantee. I'll have an affiliate link down below in the description. And guys, when it comes to a self-defense situation, with USCCA, you have a friend. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. But their quality control over the... it actually is the exact same. And so I think you'll be really happy with. The grip has somewhat of a nice natural beaver. The grip has a nice bevel tail. It's a bevel tail. It just seemed not to, you know, it just seemed by Taurus, just a right up there with the big boys. The big thing is about this, the big boys, what is that? The big boys. A great option for those who are looking for, what is that? I don't know what that is. What is that?